like, Dad, it's raining. Don't slide down the pole. Oh my
Also,
gosh.
you signed a waiver, Dad.
Yeah, Dad.
All right.
So y'all are certainly doing your part to keep Austin weird.
That's right.
The Weird Homes Tour. Why homes?
We are addicted to home tours. We used to go to like 4 or 5 every year. And we were walking around our old neighborhood and we saw this home and it looked like the Alamo. And I was like, David, I want to go in there. And it's because I'm nosy. And so we got to look up and see if there's an Austin Weird Homes Tour. I really want to go on that. And he went back and did some research and he's like, babe, there's not a Weird Homes Tour. And I was like, oh, darn. And the next morning he was like, I think we should do it. And I was like, okay. So it just stemmed from that.
So you wanted to see the homes, but you thought, okay, let's make a whole tour out of this?
Yeah, I think we're both super entrepreneurial to begin with. So it was just a natural extension of this doesn't exist, sleep on it. Is it still a good idea in the morning?
Yeah.
Yes. And I had just done a bunch of event production stuff before in a previous life, so I kind of understood the mechanics of it.
So here we are, what is this, 6 years in now?
Yeah.
So what has the Weird Homes Tour evolved into?
Tours in a bunch of different cities beyond Austin, Houston, New Orleans, Detroit, Portland. We're adding Los Angeles. And then we're lucky enough to kind of publish a coffee table book. More interestingly, the story behind the homeowners and why they did what they did. And we now have a podcast as well. That's kind of human interest, just exploring all these entrepreneurial art collectors, designers, business people who happen to live in weird homes.
So it's safe to say you're building a weird home empire.
That's right.
One weird house at a time, like this one. Yes. We're sitting in like a giant meringue. What's happening here? What is this?
So this is the Bloom House, and it was built by Charles Harker and a bunch of other UT architecture students in kind of the late 70s, 80s, like maybe 5 years to get this thing going from what we can tell, and was kind of built to look like you would wander through the forest and just find it.
Which is what it feels like. Walking through the myriad of trees to get down here was enchanting, to say the least. And then you come in, there's no straight lines anywhere.
No, none at all. Even the hood over the oven, the venting, has a round wooden box around it, which is so crazy. Yes. I mean, every piece of detail in here.
It's kind of disorienting to walk through. Even walking up the stairs, it's like a little trippy. What year did you say they made this in?
Late 70s, 80s.
Some influences might have come in here.
And so you can actually rent it and have a corporate retreat here or spend the night, so it's on Airbnb and all that good stuff.
This place is so rad. This is one of the homes that you would find if you were taking the Austin Weird Homes Tour. What other kinds of things would you experience on that tour?
We have 8 homes this year. One of the homes is my favorite. It's called Under the Sea, and it's with Lois, and she bought the house in the 70s, and she just didn't want a beige box. So she came in and she was like, I'm not an artist, but I want this to look like like a picture. And so every wall is a different color. The fence is like a scene from Mermaids, Under the Sea. The countertops are
poured plastic resin so you can see all these things encased in it.
I mean, you just have to go there. It's one of those things like I can't explain it until you see it in person.
Oh girl, I've been.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, oh yeah, you're doing, Under the Sea House is one of my favorite from the Weird Homes Tour, and you're describing it perfectly. And even though I've seen it, I still get excited to see it in its following years, to see like what she's done with it and how it's expanded.
Keeps evolving too.
So you called it the Under the Sea House. Who is naming the houses, y'all or the homeowners?
It's kind of both, right? Yeah.
But we have like the mysterious Planchette house because he collects talking spirit boards, and then you know the little planchette that you move around when the spirits talk to you.
Like the Ouija board?
Yeah, he has the world's largest collection of that. And so that was easy to name that house. We've included our friends in Pflugerville now as well. And one of those is a kind of a world famous Austin magician. His house is like stepping into the mind of a magician. So he's collecting old tricks and automatons that talk. Everything is magic themed, and he tours and is a kind of a world famous magician, but also that's how he lives. It's not just you leave, you go to work, and you come home, and it's totally different. He's kind of in both of those worlds at the same time.
Abracadabra, that is awesome.
Yeah.
Being in the business of weird, what is one of the weirdest things y'all have ever seen in a house?
Well, one of the homes we had on the tour, he was a playground architect. And so you can imagine what his home looked like, because it looked like a giant adult playground, like something out of a Dr. Seuss novel. He had this 3-story tall treehouse in his backyard, and he had a wooden drawstring bridge from his bedroom window to the treehouse, and you could see all of Austin. And then he had fireman's poles installed so you could slide all the way down from the treehouse and the bedroom. I mean, it was insane, and it was a little dangerous.
And you had to be insane to try it.
Yeah, but my dad did. Yeah, and then he was like, my back. And I'm like, Dad, it's raining. Don't slide down the pole. Oh my gosh.
Also, you signed a waiver, Dad.
Yeah, Dad.
All right?
Sorry.
Not our problem.
So what have you seen as you've expanded, and what have people gravitated towards in that experience?
We've actually had 2 people that had airplane homes. So imagine the 737 is kind of done with its normal lifespan, and it gets sold into a scrapping auction or something. Someone buys it, moves it, and makes that into their home where they live. And they're having a concert on the wing. And inside is their kind of bachelor pad, and people are posing, pretending to still fly the plane. But I think we're just seeing a lot of people who own businesses and are entrepreneurs who also just like take their work home with them. And then we're seeing a lot of artists who are just turning this into like the most private canvas you can possibly imagine, of every day waking up and art covering everything. And then just collectors, people who love matches, and their whole house is matchbooks, right? It's no fire danger at all there. But we just see these 3 types of kind of themes over and over and again. And again, just fascinating people.